Unsurprisingly, what impressed me even before I started playing Shovel Knight Dig was the impressive sprite work. It's not even that it's colorful and well done in general. It manages to pop off the screen and proves that retro-styled games / graphics still hold their own in this day and age. I was glad to see this continued once I actually started playing. Simply put, Shovel Knight Dig quickly gets to the point. There's an introduction that takes less than 10 minutes and I didn't mind that at all. What I liked about this intro was that I felt like I wasn't having my hand held or treated as if this were my first time even playing a game. Digging in SKD felt very smooth. You'd assume that should be a given, seeing as how shovel is in the game's title, but assuming a game will properly handle something from the start, if at all, usually leads towards disappointment. What I liked about the digging was that it was easy to get in the zone. I wanted to keep digging even if there were easier ways to advance through the level. That goes to show how well designed this aspect of SKD was, and that continued to be seen in more ways than one. SKD is a rogue that features multiple different environments. Most games make use of different enemies / obstacles that match up the environment you happen to be in, and SKD took that to the next step. In short, SKD features great mechanics depending on the environment you're in. In the water level, water slows you down, and electric enemies take advantage of water's conductivity. In the magic level, portals and bouncing is how I got around, rather than having to keep digging. What's cool about this is that I just about always felt like I was in control. There definitely were moments where I felt overwhelmed, something I'll get into in a bit, but I liked knowing that this and the overall difficulty of SKD was well balanced. I could say the same goes for item pickups / unlockables spilling over into subsequent runs, but not to the same extent. An issue I have with some rogues is not being able to keep power-ups or unlockables in general for good. Chances are that's just the nature of the beast, and I'm arguing for a way of making games easier to play, but that's how I prefer rogues. It was after a while that I realized that it was possible to keep one pickup, but it's because I learned that rescuing the armorer and purchasing a specific set of armor allowed that to happen. For the most part, there were a decent number of armors to choose from. They each offered something different, but seeing as how I played through the majority of SKD with the basic one, they're not super necessary. On the note of necessary, it's worth bringing up one of the bigger issues I had with SKD. For such an in-depth game, I thought it was annoying that it pressures you to progress as quickly as possible. It's because after a while, a drill that takes up a decent part of the screen and that can insta-kill you chases after you. As if that's not bad enough, there's also enemies, traps, and eventually, 4-corner crossbows during the last section of the game. I realized that the point is to spice things up, but it felt like overkill. There was enough to keep me on my toes, but when all of those things started to quickly pile up on me, it was like I was being penalized for wanting to take in more of what SKD has to offer. Chances are that the point is to make it so that future runs are necessary rather than seeing everything all at once, but it's not like that was possible in the first place, at least for me. I played Shovel Knight Dig for almost 20 hours and felt that I got a lot out of it. While that's true, the reason I'm able to review Shovel Knight Dig in the first place is because it recently received new DLCs. I figured I got enough out of the base game, but I still wanted to see what the DLCs had to offer. The first I encountered, Black Knight's Challenges, seemed more like optional content. The point of it was to make SKD more challenging than it already was, but I figured I could do that on my own. At that point I figured that more of the added content was due to me having beaten the game, but I'm not entirely sure of that. There's plenty more for me to enjoy, but for the sake of getting this review out within a timely manner, I figure I can eventually enjoy that for myself at a later point. Shovel Knight Dig managed to do what only a few games a year can do, which is to hook me in from the start and keep me entertained. At times Shovel Knight Dig came off as more challenging than it needed to be, but that wasn't bad enough to the point where I wanted to stop playing. With its varied levels and standout visuals, there's plenty here to be enjoyed by general players, and I definitely recommend it. What are your thoughts on feeling rushed when you're playing a game? Have you ever played games that left you feeling like you couldn't explore them as freely as you would have liked? What kind of DLC are you most drawn to? If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, and if you're up for it, buy me a coffee. Thank you very much for watching.